Modders play an extremely vital role in giving ARK that extra kick it needs, whether that be making the game less of a grind or complete overhaul mods making the game extremely challenging. Today we are focusing on quality of life mods, and in my next video I'll be focusing on dino and overhaul mods. Here's 10 quality of life mods you need to try in ARK Survival Ascended. Let's kick things off with the Pull It mod. From the modder, think about it. This mod can be used in crossplay. Once installed and once accessing yours, a dino's, or storage containers inventory, you'll notice you'll now have new tab options available to you at the top of the screen. So let's just say we want to craft a wooden foundation. Let's go to crafting, select wooden foundation engram, then you press the icon in the middle. This will pull any resources out of your base into your inventory, and you can craft yourself your wooden foundation. This can be done with any engrams or blueprints you want to craft. And if you wanted to craft more than one, you can input the amount into the box next to the icon. Now if you want to pull singular resources into your own inventory or whatever storage container you're accessing, this can be done with the downward arrow icon. So let's say I want to pull some wood into my inventory. Click that icon, search for wood, and this will tell you wherever wood is located in your base. Click on whichever storage container you want to pull from, select the amount and click pull. And finally, if you're looking to repair your items, I have a load of damaged flak in this smithy. Select the item you want to repair, hit the screwdriver and spanner icon, and it will pull the exact amount of resources needed to repair that item. Up next we have the extended smithy. From the modder Horrendous, can be used for cross-platform. You can find the extended smithy alongside the standard smithy in your engrams, both unlocked at level 20, with the extended smithy needing slightly more resources required to craft. And it's as simple as this. Standard smithy can hold 75 slots, while the extended smithy can hold a whopping 2,000 slots. Next up we have Dino Finder from the modder Hacky Van Bane. Once again can be used cross-platform. Once installed and once accessing your inventory, go to the map tab and you'll now see a new tab at the bottom right of the screen, which is Open Finder. After clicking that, you'll be able to search for any dino on the map with a number of options to narrow down your search, setting the minimum and maximum level you desire. So let's say I want to find a giant queen bee. Search for the bee, click giant queen bee, and then click the search button at the bottom. You'll then be able to see all the giant queen bees located around the map, and you can click any one of these to track them. I never use this mod for a general playthrough as I feel like it's a little too easy, but if you are really struggling to find certain creatures, it's extremely helpful. Another mod that can be extremely useful, especially when playing the island map, is the Custom Dino Levels mod from the modder Kitsy Catty. This mod can be used cross-platform. By reading the information in the mod description, you'll find a lot of helpful additional information of how to customize your ionized settings to cater to your liking. It's no secret that the island map is well known for spawning shockingly low-level wild creatures around the map, and it can be an absolute nightmare to find a high level of any creature. But even without editing your ionized settings, after installing the mod, perform a quick dino wipe, you'll begin to instantly notice the change. It will basically balance out those low level spawns, introducing far more mid to high level spawns instead, making finding higher levels much easier. Next up we have the TG stacking mod from Payat Agonoise Tiamat 913. Apologies for butchering the names. There are 3 different variants of the mod. 2 where items will stack into 1000, one with 50% weight reduction and one with 90% weight reduction per stack. And the third option, which is the one we're going to quickly showcase, is items stacking into 10,000 with 90% weight reduction per stack. So basically this mod will massively condense the amount of storage space you need in your base, as most items, resources and consumables will stack into 10,000 and will make it much easier to transfer stuff in and around your base, with ammunition and unique consumables stacking into stacks of 500. Personally, this mod isn't my cup of tea, and I do love a good cup of tea, but it is evident in the amount of downloads that this mod is a very popular one for most people due to it making life a lot easier. The Super Cryo Storage mod is up next, by Bruno Amaraltum. It can be used cross-platform. The mod adds an additional 3 new items: SCS Cryo Balls, Cryo Gun, and the Cryo Terminal, all unlocked at level 51 and can be crafted in your own inventory. The balls are basically cryopods, they work the exact same way, however they don't have a spoil timer. The gun can be used to shoot and suck your creatures into the balls whenever empty balls are in your inventory, basically like a cryo gun. You also need the SCS gun to alter any base settings for the SCS terminal. These settings can only be altered by anyone with admin access, or if playing single player like me, of course you'll have admin access. This is done by holding R on PC, square on PlayStation, and X on Xbox, where you need to go to admin settings on the radial menu. Here we have all the settings for your cryo terminal. So let's quickly go through every option and what it does when checked. Most of these settings can be further customized to your liking by altering the options on the right of the screen. Enable cryo sickness will determine if creatures have cryo sickness when thrown out of a ball, and if you throw cryo one out during this cooldown, they will be thrown out asleep. Typically, they are prone to taking excessively more damage in this state. Enable baby auto trap. When you place SCS balls inside the terminal, and whenever mammals give birth to any babies, or any babies hatch from fertilized eggs, they will be sucked into one of those balls in your terminal. As you can see, the terminal just sucked a few of my direwolf babies inside. Can capture dino in combat? Well, that's what it pretty much is. You don't have to wait for a cooldown to capture them, you can instantly capture them when in combat. Cryo terminal can collect fertilized eggs and can incubate fertilized eggs. If you have any creatures on mate around your base and they drop fertilized eggs, the cryo terminal will instantly pick them up. Once in the cryo terminal, it will incubate the eggs down to 1% ready to pop, which at that point you'll need a means of hatching that egg manually. For example, with air conditioners. Can gain kill XP when deleting dinos. This is especially good for people that mass breed, as you'll have a lot of throwaway babies. You can select any balls with creatures you do not need, then click delete dino at the bottom of the terminal, which will delete the dino out of the ball, refund you one empty ball, and net your survivor some tasty XP. Can enable mating in range. Any creatures within the range of the terminal will instantly mate, if this setting is enabled. Can spay dinos in range. Not really sure what that means. Honestly, I don't know why you want to spay your dinos anyway, so I probably wouldn't recommend even selecting that. And can capture all dinos in range, which of course means any creatures that pop out babies will be captured in balls, going straight into the cryo terminal. Cryo gun, capture items in bags. You can shoot death caches with a cryo gun to transfer those items to your inventory. Give imprint to deployer, which means if you imprinted that baby and then you pull it in an SCS ball, give it to another player, whenever they throw it out, it will be imprinted to that player. Deploy with structure prevention and flyer prevention are pretty self-explanatory. You'll be able to throw creatures out of balls in areas that prevent building or prevent flying creatures. Enable passive generation, unfertilized egg generation, and poop generation. So if you go over to my terminal here, you can see I've got acatinas in here, in cryo balls inside the terminal, which with passive generation will passively generate acatina paste and organic polymer over time. There's also a basilosaurus in here, which will also generate spoilable oil. So anything like that, that's what comes under passive generation. Unfertilized egg generation speaks for itself also. As you can see in the terminal, I've got UT eggs and Rex eggs. That's because I have a male and a bunch of females of each species. In cryo balls inside the terminal, and it just passively generates eggs over time. And if we move over to my other terminal here, a lot of poop is inside it. And in here, I just have a few cryoed up Phiomias to passively generate the poop. These two settings are what they say on the tin. Any babies in balls inside the cryo terminal will auto grow and auto imprint. Beetles can convert poop. So let's go to my poop terminal here. You can see there's a bunch of fertilizer in here also, and that's because I got a few dumb beetles in the terminal. They will automatically convert the poop into fertilizer over time. Capturing dinos report to tribe log. If you go into tribe manager, you'll see notifications whenever one of your tribe mates cryo balls any of your creatures. And finally, distribute fertilizer to crop plots. And this gives me the perfect opportunity to tell you how to manually set up your terminal settings. Once accessing your terminal, go to the terminal settings at the bottom of the screen. And this is where you can manually pick what you want your terminals to do and what you don't want them to do. I like to have 3 separate terminals for different purposes. So with this one, I got poop generation and beetles convert poop. That's all I use it for. In my second terminal, I have resource generation turned on and unfertilized egg generation. And the final terminal, which will collect fertilized eggs, incubate fertilized eggs, auto trap babies, and have unfertilized egg generation. Now if we go back to my poop terminal, you'll see the distribution settings on the right. So if we set this to, let's say 7, over here you can see I have some large crop plots, and give it a sec, and it will, there you go, change to 7. So it automatically distributes that fertilizer to your crop plots. Nothing better than saving on a spot of gardening, and that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Super Cryo Storage mod. Up next is one of my personal favorites, the Crafting Skill Potion, from the modder Fire Solved. This mod can also be used cross-platform. When accessing your engrams, this potion can be unlocked at level 1. Once consumed, the potion will temporarily wipe all your engram points and put all levels into your crafting skill stat. And if you're one of those people like me that absolutely hate mine wiping due to having to relearn all your engrams again, but deep down you know you have to suck it up to be able to craft the best blueprints in the game, well, you're gonna love this potion. You'll have 2 minutes to craft whatever you want, and when the time runs out, your stats revert back to normal, and so do your learned engrams. And after you're done, you can stick them in the fridge and save them for a rainy day, as they do have quite a hefty spoil timer. Next up is the Utilities Plus mod from Blitzfire 911. It can also be used cross-platform. This mod adds reusable versions of the basic equipment in the game. All items can can be unlocked at the same levels as you would unlock the vanilla versions. So once you craft one of these items, you won't have to craft another ever again. And of course it frees up a lot of inventory space, being as you don't have to carry a bunch of parachutes, grappling hooks, bowlers, etc, etc, making life a whole lot easier when out exploring. The mod also adds the Utilities Plus version of the binoculars, which can be unlocked at level 3, needing only 2 crystal and 5 metal ingot to craft, and they work the exact same as the tech binoculars. And once again, personally, it's not my cup of tea. I do love a good challenge and take pleasure in the pain that vanilla ARK has to offer. Up next is a Super Spyglass Plus from Caven87. This mod can also be used cross-platform. First of all, there's 3 different variants to craft, all unlocked at level 25. One being the standard Spyglass, which is used the same way as the basic Spyglass, a skin that can be equipped to head armor, and one that can be used to just toggle it on or off. When aiming your crosshair at any creature, it will show detailed info about the creature, showing all of its wild stats, mutations, color regions, its preferred food and how much you will need to tame it. Shows any buffs that any creature has active, shows information about fertilized eggs, shows information about unborn babies when looking at the mother, shows latitude and longitude in the top left of the screen, shows info about supply drops, dropped item bags and death caches, has built-in night vision, predator vision and outline mode. These options can all be accessed via the radial menu by holding R on PC, square on PlayStation and X on Xbox when having your Spyglass equipped. And by selecting the option at the top of the wheel, you also have access to customizing your Super Spyglass Plus settings. This thing does it all. The final mod we are going to showcase is the Dino Plus Nanny and Hatchery mod from the modder The Mad Collector. Once again, it can be used cross-platform. The mod adds the Dino Plus Nanny, the Dino Plus Hatchery, and also adds a selection of new structure variants that are basically upgrades to their vanilla counterparts. As you can see, the Dino Plus versions are slightly smaller than the vanilla versions, which I actually love. I really wish the vanilla Indie Forge wasn't so big. So let's compare them in detail real quick. Here we have the greenhouse structures and the glass Dino Plus structures. And you can see it's a more polished version of the greenhouse structure with completely clear glass panels. The vanilla tech gen will hold 100 slots of storage, and with 200 element inside will be powered for 150 days. Whereas the D Plus tech gen will hold 300 slots, and with 200 element will be powered for 1190 days. The refrigerator will hold 80 slots, whereas the D Plus refrigerator will hold 300, and will increase the spoil timer of consumables inside. Standard Smithy will hold 75 slots, the D Plus Smithy will hold 300, the Fabricator will hold 70, and the D Plus also holding 300. The Industrial Forge will hold 100 slots, and the D Plus version once again holding 300 slots. So these structures look better and hold a lot more storage space. All D Plus structures are unlocked at the same level as the vanilla versions. And finally, let's highlight the 2 best features of the mod, the Dino Plus Nanny and the Dino Plus Hatchery, which can both be unlocked at level 1. Both can either be powered with gasoline or from a nearby power generator. Once activating your hatchery, any creatures on mate around your base that drop fertilized eggs will automatically be picked up by the hatchery, and once inside, it will incubate your eggs down to 1% ready to pop, which just like the Super Cryo storage terminal, you're in need of a means to finish off the incubation process. And now we've popped out some babies, it's now time to show how the Nanny works. The Nanny will automatically distribute food to any babies in range, so be sure to ram your Nanny full of all that food that your babies like to eat. After chucking some berries in the Nanny, if you go to my Verrazino, you will see that the Nanny automatically puts berries in its inventory. So this mod gets rid of the hand feeding process completely, and most of all, you don't need to imprint your babies at all. The more your baby grows, the more the imprint percentage goes up naturally from the Nanny, so you won't have to care for your babies ever again. And if you're looking for more settings regarding the Nanny or Hatchery, you can view these options by holding E on the Nanny or Hatchery. So I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope it was helpful to you all, and if it was, please consider liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing for more ARK content. I am currently working on some big projects at the moment, hence the lack of uploads, so just letting you know there's going to be plenty more awesome ARK content coming in the next few months, and who knows, maybe even different games. Hope you're all having a great week. I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.